Hey, what's up YouTube? King James here. I did a review on the Krig 6 in Season 2, and I concluded that it was a pretty good gun. It worked okay, but there was really some better options out there, like the AUG and the M16 and the Modern Warfare guns. But come Season 3, they've really buffed the ARs, and in the Krig 6 case, it actually got some buffs to damage in a couple of different zones. The recoil feels a lot better on it, although it doesn't say they straighten the recoil on it, and the gun itself just performs a whole lot better. So I've got an updated build from my last build and a little bit of new footage and some updates from the patch notes. So let me show it to you right now. So first, let's start by looking at the patch notes. So the Krig 6 got some buffs to its damage with Season 3. Head damage multiplier went from 1.4 to 1.5, so that's, a decent increase. But then there's a neck damage multiplier that I don't think a lot of us even knew we had, went from 1 to 1.3, and that's an interesting piece, and I'll explain a little bit more later. And then the upper torso went from 1 to 1.1. So as you're shooting guy, typically what we all do is we sort of run with our gun in the middle of our screen, and it'll end up pointing at a guy's chest. So you're getting a 10% bonus to any chest damage you do now, going from 1 to 1.1. And then as you drag your controller or mouse up to get those headshots, now, as soon as you get close to the head, you're going to get 1.3 multiplier because from the neck up, which basically makes headshots a much bigger area because it's like from here up now. And then the headshot multiplier actually gained even more. Now it's 1.4 to 1.5. So what does that actually mean in numbers? Well, I did a little bit of math to illustrate it. So here's what I'm talking about. So here's what it was before. So the base damage is 30. So 1.4 multiplier gives you 42 damage. So to kill a fully plated enemy, 6 shots to the head. And then the neck and torso were all just 30, so it was 9. But now your 30 shot with a 1.5 multiplier is 45. Now that's not a lot more headshot damage, and it's still 6 shots. However, neck being 30 gets to 42, it's still 6 bullets, because 6 times 42 is 252. So you're going to get the guy down in almost the exact same number of bullets, or the exact same number of bullets. But then torso is 1 less bullet overall. So if you start shooting high in the torso and get up into the neck and head area, you're going to take guys down on average 1 or 2 bullets faster than what you did before. So really that's a probably 15 or 20% buff in the overall damage of the gun. If you think about it, going from 8 to, if you can manage to get it down to 6, that's a pretty solid improvement. That's 25%. So you're going to see a much faster time to kill in the Krig 6 now than what it used to have. So as always, one of the things I like to do is drop in and just shoot a recoil pattern up a wall. It really helps me understand how the gun shoots. And when I look at the pattern on this now, it's pretty straight. It has a little bit of horizontal left and right, but nothing major at all. And when I'm doing a controlled shot here, look how nice and close that is. That explains why the gun feels so much better when I use it. I don't know if it was like that before. I don't remember what the recoil pattern was prior to Season 3, but I don't think it was this good because I think they've improved them. Although they didn't say, if it used to always be this good and tell me in the comment section down below because I can't remember and I'm not quite sure. So if you know, let me know. However, when I look at this now, this is pretty darn good. That's a nice straight line. And the controlled shot, look at how tight that is. So watch, let me show you a little bit of gameplay and watch when I'm shooting guys down, how consistently I can get the hit markers. Now, sometimes they're moving and it's just hard to get hit markers, but other times I can just hit them one after another, even at pretty long distance. So here's a little footage of me using the Krig, and this is across Rebirth, and that's a pretty far distance, and here in Warzone, and I had no problem getting really consistent hit markers on the guys when I'm fighting. And this guy here just kept popping up a couple of times, so I managed to down him with some headshots there. He was already low, I think, when he originally pops. That's why it was so fast. But the overall hit markers, now this guy here, I couldn't hit him because of the loadout, but once I got it on him, boom, had no problem getting the down, even while he was running and moving in that area. And then his buddy came out here, I think trying to go to the buy and didn't realize I was still up there. So really fast, consistent hit markers. And even up close, like right here, no, I didn't have my SMG out and I didn't realize he was there, but I had no problem getting the down even super close. And same thing here, right? Just tons of real consistent hit markers, because while the reticle is shaking, or the scope is shaking, the reticle is very steady, so it's super easy to shoot. Now this is a good example right here. So this guy's moving a little bit and I got him down, but watch the thirst right here. Every single one of those hit. It was really consistent. And this guy here, I had no problem. And then he started strafing and I still got the down and got all the hit markers. So a lot better than what it used to be. So I've been carrying my Krig 6 with an SMG. I've been sort of falling between the PPSH, the LC10, and the MAC-10, and the Cold War MP5. I tried the MP7. I don't know, I just can't figure out what SMG I want to use lately because they all feel pretty good. So I'm going to try and do an SMG shootout, hopefully this week, and have that for you guys. But for now, I'm going to show you my Krig 6 build. So let me get into that. So just before I show you my build, I want to say thank you to everybody who's recently subbed to the channel. I really appreciate all that love and support and you guys coming back and watching my videos and the hilarious comments you leave and giving me the thumbs up and everything you guys do. I really appreciate that. So thank you so much, guys. And if you haven't subbed to the channel, consider subscribing because it really does help small content creators like myself. All right, let me show you my build. So for starters, the muzzle. Okay, agency suppressor. Because this is our medium long range build that I'm going to be coming up with, it's going to be the right one because we want bullet velocity, we want to stay off the mini map, vertical recoil control is helpful, and this gun does have effective damage range, so the effective damage range helps. So this really is the right suppressor for the gun. And for the barrel, we used to use the contour because it had pretty good bullet velocity and it increased the fire speed, but it doesn't anymore. So the Ranger now just has a massive increase to bullet velocity, so that's the one that we're using today. So for the optic, I normally run the Axial Arms 3X, but I had a message on one of my previous videos from William Fenton, and he said, give the Sussat Multi-Zoom a try. So I actually jumped in and tried it out, because I always like to try new stuff. And well, here's what I found. So I just jumped in and I had two of the same gun with the two different scopes, and I decided to shoot up the wall and see what it looks like. And I noticed that the recoil was a little bit different horizontally and it was higher vertically. You can see over here, I tested it before, but I wasn't filming when I did it because I didn't anticipate that the optics were going to make any difference. But here's the Axial versus the Sussat Multi-Zoom. And look at the hook over here that isn't. There's no difference between these two guns except for the optic. And this is the Axial. It's very straight and shorter, and it has no left to right, but this has a big hook left to right. And you can see here, I also tested it and it was taller, and then this one here was shorter, and they moved a little bit here and moved a little here, but not like this. So what's interesting is that the optics seem to have a really different effect on left to right horizontal and vertical recoil control. So I'm actually going to do a bit of an optic video and see if I can figure out what's what on that. So more to come on that later, but I'm still going to recommend running the Axial 3X, but I want to try and figure out if this is the same for all guns, or is it just some optics are different, or is there something else causing this to be different? Because these two guns were exactly the same build, just the optic was different. So very interesting. Anyway, back to the build. So still going to recommend running the Axial Arms 3X, but thanks for that suggestion, William, because what I'm going to do is that's probably going to turn into a video that I'm going to do just to figure out what's going on there. So great suggestion. Now for the underbarrel, I'm still running the Field Agent grip for that horizontal and vertical recoil control. And for the ammunition, I haven't gone to the fast mag. Now they did reduce the ADS penalty because I think they're around 150 milliseconds. So they said they reduced it by 20%, which would get it down to 120 milliseconds. But this one's only 50 millisecond reduction in ADS, which isn't too bad. And I'd rather have that. I don't think I want to go to 45 because with this gun, the number of bullets you want to hit and with running with 4 people, I think 60 is better. I always like 60. On the M16 burst, it's okay, but it takes a lot less shots to get guys down. And with an AR and guys are moving around, you tend to waste a couple of bullets. So I'm going to run the 60. I found it to be the best attachment. And this is how I've been running my Krig, and it feels really strong with increased damage. And I don't know if they smoothed out the recoil on it or not, but it feels a ton better. I feel like I can way more consistently get guys down, and it's much easier to use. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, guys. Have you tried the Krig? Did you try it in Season 2 and weren't really that happy with it? Give it a shot in Season 3 now. It's a ton better. Like right here is the ending of a game of Rebirth, and we had the height advantage, and there's guys down here, and I was just lasering one guy after another with the Krig. It felt really good. The gun is strong, it hits hard, it's easy to use. You know, the optic is nice on the Axial Arms 3X. You know, you still get quite a bit of that shake on the optic, but the reticle itself is very steady. So I found the gun super easy to use. I was really comfortable with it and super confident. Like when I had a guy in my sights, it worked really well. Anyways, give me your thoughts in the comment section down below. And as always, if you don't see me in Warzone, if you don't see me in multiplayer, it's only a matter of time, baby. King James out.